All right, welcome guys to my first ever match reaction. Arsenal versus Olympiacos in the Champions League second game, first home game of the year, coming off of a win away versus Athletic Club. We now sit fifth in the Champions League after match week 2 is done with 2 wins and 6-goal, a 5-goal differential tie with PSG and Inter Milan as well. So off to a good start. Not the best game in terms of quality of play, especially with the players that we have. The substitutions in the starting lineup, obviously there was to have some depth showing there with Ben White starting there at the right back position, but didn't have the best game to start. We had to put Yuri and Timber there, and you could see the quality and difference of the players immediately. Starting off the game, Martinelli misses a wide open chance as soon as the game starts, which would have put us up 1-0 and let us cruise control for the rest of the game. Second goal was Gyökeres taking it down really nice off an over the head through ball from ODEGAARD, where he did well to beat off the 2 defenders, shot it, hit the post, and Martinelli taps it in. But other than that, Martinelli, that was about all you did all game, dude. Listen, he scored. Sure, it's 2-0 in the Champions League. Saka and Martinelli scoring, but I need a better performance from Martinelli there, especially if you're getting starting minutes here. You've been a super sub off the bench for the past couple of games, and it's been really, really nice to see. However, bad performance from Martinelli. In my opinion, listen, some might say, listen, he scored. That's all he needs to do in a 2-0 win, but it could have been better. Now, with the back defensive line, Lewis Skelly, Gabriel, Saliba, all three of those guys did their job today. Raya making a good save as well in the back, and kept us in it. There was a second shot that he made a good save on. I thought it was a shot on target, but it was going wide anyway, so it gave them a corner. They were attacking. They were not afraid to attack, and we were looking to counter a lot more in this game. Unfortunately, we couldn't. And it showed. It showed in transitional play in the midfield there, and I'm not too sure if that's a lack of creativity. Martin Odegaard's back and played his first full 90 there. Declan Rice getting subbed on for Mikel Merino when he got injured in the second half. But Mikel Merino seems to be a super sub, almost the same as Gabriel Martinelli. Now, it's the same as Trossard as well. Those 3 players typically are those super sub players, which I wouldn't have starting. But, you know, it is what it is. We're missing a guy like Wanyeri or Eze starting in that position, in that number 10 position, where you have a bit more creative freedom. Zubamendi, he had an okay game today. Sitting off the ball, doing his due diligence, doing what the number 6 is supposed to do, filling in at that center back position, with Lewis Skelly filling into the CDM position. However, the game wasn't that entertaining to watch. I was getting really upset and hoping that, you know, it was going to be more than 2-0 at the end of the day. But Bukayo Saka getting subbed on and scoring that goal really elevated it to and showed his quality, obviously, and how we've missed in the past couple of games. He's been our key player for the past 5 years, and he continues to show why that is and why he is a world-class player in Bukayo Saka. Now, if I click here for a player rating and review for the starting 11 here on FOTMob, these guys are goofs, man. Some of these, you know, stats on FOTMob are ridiculous, and I don't really count these stat merchants here. So, you know, I can tell by the quality of the game what these guys have done here. So, starting in net, like I said earlier, Raya, Gabriel, Saliba, Lewis Skelly, all 4 of those guys at the defense there did their job. You know, no goals conceded. Obviously, that's a great defensive effort and great show. It's sad that Gabriel went down. Unfortunately, that doesn't help. But hopefully, it was just precautionary. Mascara getting subbed on there, but David Raya, I'd give a solid 7, maybe 7.5, just because he made that great save in the first half there, keeping us in the game, which would have gave them motivation to score. Honestly, it was poor by us not to score a couple more early on and let the game cruise out. In my opinion, I think we've done that too often in the past couple of years, where, you know, you're going up 2-0 and then you're on cruise control. Whereas, you know, like, act like Bayern Munich. Go out there and fire them off, man. We need 6, 7, 8 goals. Who cares? Olympiacos, you guys are one of the best teams in the world here in Arsenal. Sure, a 2-0 win looks great, but, you know, versus Olympiacos at home, you got to be pumping in the goals, getting the goal differential up. Moving on to Lewis Skelly, I'm going to give this guy, honestly, an 8, maybe even an 8.5, because he is unbelievable at controlling the ball in the midfield, inverting from that left back position, which is phenomenal to have, especially because we can, you know, push those attacking players higher. And he's unbelievable at holding somebody off the ball and drawing in those fouls. I think it happened 5, maybe even 6 times this game as well. Again, where this guy is just putting himself in front of the ball in those positions where he's drawing that foul, and it's unbelievable playmaking by him. Gabriel and Saliba, I'm going to put in the same position there. Solid 7. No goals conceded. Did their job, and it was pretty routine for them. There's no real standout moments for them either. So, maybe even a 6.5, just because they didn't have to do anything. Benjamin White, on the other hand, unfortunately, Ben, we could tell your match fitness was not up to par. And again, this is Olympiacos. This is a game where you're supposed to come and show why we have the squad depth there, why you've been the starting right back for the past couple of years. I mean, it's hard to get in over Urian Timber right now, especially at the quality he's been performing each game, dropping 8 after 8 after 8. And again, he had to get substituted off just because of the lack of consistency in this game. I will say Martinelli on the right-hand side as well. Typically, it's Odegaard, Saka, and Ben White with the 3 players linking up there and understanding each other's chemistry. So with Martinelli kind of roaming and running freely on that right-hand side into that center forward position, Ben White had a lot more ground to cover, and it showed. Honestly, he couldn't keep up in the match today, fitness-wise, and I don't blame the coach for taking him off. I would have done the same thing. Honestly, maybe even earlier, maybe even at half, just to get those goals up. It was 1-0 at half, and you want to be able to take it to them and show, listen, hey, put 2 goals past them in the first half, and then just start, pinging it around from there. Zubamendi, I'd give a 6. He didn't have the greatest performance today. He wasn't winning balls like crazy. There's a lot of transitional play from Olympiacos that could have been avoided, with a more condensed midfield. Again, he didn't have the worst game in the world. I'm not saying that it was awful to watch, but, solid 6. I think that's fair for Zubamendi. Mikel Merino, I'd give a 6 as well, 5.5 maybe. He wasn't really doing much in the midfield. And again, this guy is an unbelievable super sub. He can score 3 goals for Spain on international duty, coming in from that low midfield role. But again, versus Olympiacos, we've seen it here and there. This guy is not a transitional player. He's too slow on the ball. And we need someone that can quickly turn and play that long ball through, or quickly turn a guy and dribble past him. Mikel Merino has his place, and I think he's good for the games that he will play, where his role is required. But in a game like today where we needed that fast transitional midfielder, he didn't have the greatest play. So again, 5.5, 6 if he was lucky, just because we didn't lose the game and we didn't concede. So moving on to Odegaard, the captain, with assist again today for Bukayo Saka in the second goal. He had an unbelievable performance. You can see how much we've missed him there. Right? Having that transitional player, having the captain, someone who understands and knows the players and understands the way Arsenal are supposed to play, you could tell that this guy is an elite player. And if this guy's on all season, he's top 3 players in the league. He had an off season last year, sure, but he was my man of the match today. Like, unbelievable performance by Martin Odegaard. So hopefully we can see some more consistency on that, and he can keep putting up some GA over the next couple of games. And I know international duty comes next after West Ham next weekend, but you know what? Let's keep firing here, Martin. Martinelli at the right wing position, playing out of position. Typically, he's either being subbed on this season or starting at the left wing position. Didn't have the greatest game. Obviously, he scored, like I said earlier. It's unfortunate he missed that first one earlier as well, because we would have been up 2-0, and we would have been able to, ping some passes together, make some substitutions earlier. Max Dowman's on the bench. Ethan Wanyeri gets some minutes, get some time in here. Mosquera, before Gabriel goes down injured, can be subbed on as well if you're up 2-0 in the first half. So, Martinelli, although he scored and we're winning the game 2-0, I'm going to have to give him a 6. He didn't play too hot today. And again, should have buried that first goal in the first couple of minutes there. It would have accelerated us to that next level right away. But now we're chasing the game back and forth, and I'm watching anxiously going, are these guys going to score? Because it seemed as if they could during the whole game. Trossard as well. I thought he should have been substituted earlier, starting on the left wing. I don't think he should have got minutes there. Obviously, we signed him to a longer contract this summer and gave him a couple of more bucks. So I guess they want to get their bang out of their bucks starting him, just to make him feel comfortable and feel like they're part of the Arsenal family. But he had a poor game today. FOTMOB saying a 7.4 rating, but honestly, it was a 6. He couldn't create on that left wing. Passes were going out of bounds. He wasn't able to make those final third crosses in. So honestly, a 6 performance from Trossard. And I think Eze should have been subbed on earlier at that left wing position. And trying Wanyeri in the midfield as well. He's on the bench. Why not play him? This kid has talent, and I really wish that he could have came on and we could have seen a little bit more dynamic transitional play in the midfield. So again, up top, because of those Trossard and Martinelli lack of crosses into the box and making it to those final positions, and lack of creativity in the midfield. Odegaard had a couple of through balls to Gyökeres, and he did well. But that's the only player that was playing those through balls to Gyökeres. And the 2 times we got a goal off of it, and we got really good attacks in those plays there. So Gyökeres, he did really well. I'm going to give him a 7. He didn't have the greatest game, sure, because he's not getting goals or assists, but he's not getting those balls coming into the box from those wingers and attacking midfield players. So with that, it's a 7 in my opinion. Declan Rice, Eze, Timber, Saka, Mosquera all came on and did their thing. You have to give them a 6, except for Bukayo Saka, which I'd give a 7, just because they didn't have enough time there. 15 minutes, 20 minutes of game time there. And Bukayo Saka, game changer again. Again, love when this guy's on the pitch. You can see the acceleration and the fear factor when this guy comes on and when he's attacking. And yeah, we miss him and we need him on the pitch. So overall, we take it. 3 points, 2 goals. We ride into the next game, sitting 5th in the Champions League right now on the table, which is great. That's going to help us, with the standings later on when it comes down to the final knockout stage. So yeah, we ride. On to the weekend we go. 3 points, not the greatest performance, but that's my first match reaction, guys. I'm Austin, and thanks for watching. Take care.